जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा जय गोपी जन वल्लभ जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन जय गिरिवरधारी जय गिरिवर जय यशोदा नंदना जय ब्रज जनरंजना जय यशोदा नंदना जय ब्रज जनरंजना जय जमुना तीरावनचारी जय कुंज बिहारी 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 जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधव जय कुंज बिहारी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्तवृंद जय श्री चैतन्य चैतन्य नित्यानंद गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामो 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामो 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Hare Ramo Hare Ramo 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ramo Ramo Hare Hare Jaya Gauranitai Jaya Gauranitai Jayo Jayo Prabhupada Jaya Prabhupada Jai Jai Gurudev Jaya Gurudev हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय गुरु महाराज की जय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतीरुत्तमश्लोके Bhaktir-bhavati naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna. Welcome all Prabhujis, Matajis to this morning's discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. We'll be going through Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 2, Chapter 6, chapter entitled Purusha Sukta Confirmed, text 22, 2:6:22. Please try to repeat. Yasmat andam viragjatne bhutendriya gunatmakaha tadravyam atyagat vishvam gobhi surya ivatapan Yasmat andam virajadne bhutendriya gunatmakaha tadravyam atyagad vishvam gobhi surya ivatapan. Prabhujis. Yasmat andam virajadne bhutendriya gunatmakaha tadravyam atyagad vishvam gobi surya ivatapan. Tasmat andam virajadne bhutendriya gunatmakaha tadravyam atyagad vishvam gobi surya ivatapan. Matajis. Yasmat andam virajadne bhutendriya gunatmakaha tadravyam atyagad vishvam gobi surya ivatapan. Yasmat andam virajadne bhutendriya gunatmakaha tadravyam atyagad vishvam. List takes into consideration the rays of the Lord without any information of the tangible, transcendental, eternal form of the Lord known as Krishna. Therefore, Krishna in his supreme personal form with 2 hands and flute is bewildering for the impersonalist, who can accommodate only the gigantic Vishwarupa of the Lord. They should know that the rays of the sun are secondary to the sun, and similarly, the impersonal gigantic form of the Lord is also secondary to the personal form as Purushottam. The Brahma Samhita 537 confirms this statement as follows. Ananda chinmaya rasa pratibhavitabhis tabhirya eva nijarupataya kalabhi goloka eva nivasati akhilatma bhuto govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, Govinda, the one who enlivens the senses of everyone by his personal bodily rays, resides in his transcendental abode called Goloka. Yet, He is present in every nook and corner of his creation by expansion of happy spiritual rays, equal in power to his personal potency of bliss. He is, therefore, simultaneously personal and impersonal by his inconceivable potency. Or he is the one without a second, displaying complete unity in a diversity of material and spiritual manifestations. He is separate from everything and still nothing is different from him. Bhaktivedanta purports ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. ॐ अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकम्। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरोन् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं सागरजातां सहगना रघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपदान् सहगना ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त श्रीराधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी श्रीराधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमः ॐ विष्णुपदाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन् इति नामिने। नमस्ते सरस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। Reading the translation again. From that personality of Godhead, all the universal globes and the universal form with all material elements, qualities and senses are generated. Yet he is aloof from such material manifestations like the sun, which is separate from its rays and heat. Hare Krishna. Thank you. So we see in this particular chapter, as such, Shukadev Goswami is beginning to narrate, starting from the opulence of the Lord, right from Sarga, and then later on Visarga, the primary and the secondary creation, as described by Lord Brahma to Narada Muni at the beginning of the creation. And we see, if we go back a little bit before the second canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, we see in the first canto Suta Goswami is basically giving the background of this narration of Srimad Bhagavatam in answer to the questions by the sages of Naimisharanya. We see the first question by the sages of Naimisharanya. What was the first question? What is the ultimate welfare activity, ultimate good for the people in general? And the second question was, what is the essence of all Vedic literatures? And then he subsequently, the sages of Naimisharanya go on asking the question, why did Lord Krishna appear as the son of Devaki Vasudev? Please describe the Guna Avtaras, Leela Avtaras of Lord Krishna. And finally, where did the Dharma take shelter after the departure of the Lord from this world? And we see that initial background is given by Suta Goswami with reference to the background of Srimad Bhagavatam. How did it? Basically, these were the secondary set of questions asked by the sages of Naimisharanya after the first set of questions were answered. In terms of the history of Bhagavatam, how did it come about? Explain about the speaker of Srimad Bhagavatam, explain about the primary hearer about Srimad Bhagavatam Maharaj, Parikshit. And then we come to this particular section. So, while setting the scene for the narration of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is a very nice verse which is mentioned by Suta Goswami, where he explains, this is after he has listed all the, not all, but the summary of the list of Guna Avtaras and the Leela Avtaras of Lord Krishna in the 3rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the last verse of the 3rd chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, there is one very important word. So Prabhuji, who is handling the TV, if you can open 1344. And this particular important significant word from this verse 1344 is also subsequently being referred to by Maitreya Maharshi when he is explaining the process of creation, same what we are discussing now in Canto 3 of Srimad Bhagavatam to Vidura. Okay? 1344. So, before this verse comes, Suta Goswami basically me yatha dhitam yatha mati. So the significance words in this particular verse are the last words in this verse, which are yatha dhitam yatha mati, which means that as far as my realization goes. So imagine a person like Suta Goswami, he is expressing his inability to properly describe the Lord, to be able to describe the Lord only to an extent which he has understood based on the mercy of his spiritual master, Shukadev Goswami. Then what is the position of a tiny living entity like us? I can specifically say about myself, about being able to describe the Lord through his opulence of creation, primary and the secondary creation. Yes. Let me go to the translation. Now I shall try to make you hear the very same thing as I learnt it from him. From him means the spiritual master, Shukadev Goswami. And as I have realized it. So note this word, yatha dhitam yatha mati. Dhitam means whatever is our tiny intelligence. And similar word is also used by Maitreya Maharshi when he begins to narrate the position of the Lord to Vidura based on his inquiries. This is 3.6.36. 3.6.36, where he mentions, Tathapi kirtayamyanga yatha mati yatha shutam kirtim hare swam swatkvartum gira manya bhidasatim yatha mati yatha shutam. So here also Maitreya Maharshi in a way describes his inability to completely describe the position of the Lord. He mentions, in spite of my inability, whatever I have been able to hear from the spiritual master. In this case, Maitreya Maharshi had heard right from who? From Lord Krishna himself, who was basically explaining to Uddhava, and Maitreya Maharshi Despite being a Brahmavadi at that particular point in time, he got the mercy of the Lord by being present there and then subsequently became a pure devotee. Whatever I have been able to hear from the spiritual master and whatever I could assimilate, I am now describing in glorification of the Lord by pure speech. And there is another important point that Maitreya Maharshi mentions. For otherwise, my power of speaking would remain unchaste. That if whatever limited capability that Lord Krishna has granted us to try to understand Him, and whatever that limited understanding we have got to try to explain it to others, if we don't utilize that ability, then our praner arther diya vacha, then our abilities, they would remain unchaste. If we don't utilize it in describing the Lord, then we are basically not properly utilizing the faculties that have been given to us by Lord Krishna. So with this as the background, we would try to describe the topic for discussion today, which is a bit technical and philosophical topic about the creation of the Lord, how it takes place. And today's verse explains how the personality of Godhead, He is the source of both the spiritual and the material cosmic manifestation. And although this material cosmic manifestation is generated, is created from the source, from Lord Krishna, He remains aloof from it. Not only does He remain aloof from it, it is explained the material cosmic manifestation is like a mistress, is like a maid servant of the Lord, who Lord does not like very much. What does Lord Krishna cherish? What does He like very much? What is mentioned in the purport? Tripada Vibhuti, the spiritual manifestation. That is something which the Lord cherishes. That means the first point of understanding is that Lord Krishna does not create this material cosmic manifestation out of His own liking, out of His own preference. If we go by His liking, He wants all of us rebellious conditioned living entities to be staying with Him, participating with Him in His eternal pastimes in spiritual world. But because the living entities, they are so stubborn and they want to, the conditioned living entities, they want to enjoy separately from the Lord cannot arrange that separate enjoyment in the spiritual world. That's why He creates what is called as the dummy world. And the example in this regard is given by Srila Prabhupada and the previous Acharya, just like sometimes the child sees the parents, the child sees the father or mother sometimes driving. So in modern context, sometimes driving a car. And the child sometimes insists on himself or herself also imitate the parent and try to drive the same car. But father or the mother, they know that I cannot give the steering of the vehicle in my child's hands, because otherwise it will be very, very risky and dangerous for the child as well as for the people outside. The child can get into a serious trouble and cause harm or injury to other people as well. That's why in order to fulfill the demands of the child, sometimes the parents give the child a dummy car to try and play along with it. Similarly, Lord Krishna also creates this dummy world where we can try to employ this mentality of ours to try to imitate the Lord in terms of try to create, okay, Krishna creates the cosmic manifestation, so we also try to build our houses, or we also try to deploy our tendency to create something wonderful. Yesterday in class, Srila Prabhupada was explaining the qualities of different people in different modes of material nature. So for ignorance, he mentioned that people in ignorant, they don't know the goal of life. What was the quality Srila Prabhupada mentioned for the people in the mode of passion? Anybody remembers? What was the... Yes, creative power. Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. So a person in the mode of passion, he likes to create something to satisfy his creative power, right? So similarly, Krishna has also given this material world where we can try to potentially create something which seems wonderful to us, but in essence it is simply trying to imitate the creative power of our Supreme Father, who can create unlimited number of universes just by his will without having to work hard like all of us, right? So first point is that this particular rebellious mentality of the living entities is facilitated, the deployment of this rebellious mentality to imitate the Lord is facilitated by the Lord in terms of this material cosmic manifestation, which is mentioned in Srimad Bhagavatam as something which he does not enjoy creating very much. It is just a temporary facility created for the living entities. In fact, in the Western world, in the US, the prison is not called as a prison house. It is referred to as a correction home. Basically, which is meant to rectify the rebellious mentality, or the mentality to breach the laws of the mentality of the criminals to breach the laws. So similarly, this material cosmic manifestation is also created by the Lord as a reformation or a correction home where we can reform our rebellious mentality. And not just the Lord create this material cosmic manifestation, he also creates a temporary form of his own self, of material entities which the conditioned soul can appreciate with his material senses. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, 11th chapter, Srila Prabhupada very nicely explains in the purport that this universal form is a material manifestation of the Lord, and devotees might wonder, how can the Supreme Lord has any material form? It is not possible. But this form has been created by the Lord, where it is mentioned that how the sun and the moon are like the eyes of the Lord, the trees are like hairs on the body of the Lord, and the mountains, they are like the bones of the Lord. So all these material and basically the entities, manifestations, a conditioned living entity can perceive, can appreciate with their own limited sense of perception. So Krishna has created this temporary form just for the conditioned living entities to try to appreciate him through their material senses, and then gradually come to the level of surrendering unto him. And Prabhupada mentions even in the purport today that how his eternal, natural, original form is the form of Purushottama or Lord Krishna, the Shama Sundar form. This Vishwarupa or the universal form is also mentioned as temporary because this particular form does not exist in the spiritual world. All other forms of the Lord, including any form you take, form of Lord Vamanadev, Lord Ramachandra, Narsimhadev, and all other incarnations of the Lord, those forms eternally exist in the spiritual world, in different Vaikuntha planets, or Lord Krishna in the Goloka Vrindavan. But this particular form of the Lord, the Vishwarupa form, it exists temporarily only in the material world, just for the conditioned living entities to appreciate the presence of the Lord with their material senses. However, for the devotee who is attached to the form, the original eternal form of the Lord, Sham Sundar form of the Lord, the form is always complete. It is not lacking in any way. Like we see examples of many wonderful devotees who have been attached to different forms of the Lord, and how they perceived that form as complete and sufficient for their perfection as well as for the reciprocation of their feelings. And just a couple of days back, when His Grace Dinabandhu Prabhu was giving the class, he was quoting the example of Murari Gupta, the physician devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Murari Gupta, who was Hanumanji in Lord Ramachandra's pastimes, he was contested the position of his own supreme worshipable Lord, Lord Ramachandra, by none other than Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu basically challenged Murari Gupta that, is your worshipable Lord Ramachandra supreme, or is my worshipable Lord, Lord Krishna, the greatest? Who is the greatest and the supreme? And Murari Gupta, basically being the pure devotee of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he mentioned that, no, my dear Lord, you yourself, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, you yourself are the Supreme Lord. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not agree. He said, tell me between Lord Ramachandra and Lord Krishna. And Murari Gupta, basically he did try to explain at his level, but Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, being the Supreme Lord as well as the expert, the scholar he quoted from various scriptures, and basically Murari Gupta, he was speechless. He could not really contest the position of the Supreme Lord, Lord Ramachandra, based on the arguments that were put forth by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And it so happens that next day, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu comes to visit Murari Gupta, his eyes are all swollen. Murari Gupta's eyes are all swollen and red. And it is apparent that he has not been able to, and basically later on after this discussion, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asked Murari Gupta to take up to the worship of Lord Krishna. And then Murari Gupta, basically in the next visit, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has come to visit him, he basically admits to the Lord that, my dear Lord, whatever you mentioned, I understand, but I cannot give up the worship of my own worshipable Supreme Lord, Lord Ramachandra. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu actually glorifies the position and the devotion of Murari Gupta, saying that it is very natural for you to be completely devoted to Lord Ramachandra because you are none other than Hanumanji. And in this way, we see that Lord is appreciative of the mood of that particular devotee. Similarly, we also see the Supreme Lord, Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, also appreciating the feelings of devotion of the particular Brahmana whose hut basically Chaitanya Mahaprabhu visited in his South India Yatra, where the Brahmana was, it is explained that very despondent, very morose, because he was in the mood of being a devotee of Lord Ramachandra, where Sita has been abducted by Ravana. And it was late in the afternoon, but still the Brahmana had not cooked his meal, and neither he could offer a proper prasadam. And when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the despondent mood of the Brahmana, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu basically reassured him that subsequently Hanumanji and the monkey army of Lord Ramachandra have been able to secure the release of Mother Sita, and they have united Lord Ramachandra and Mother Sita. They have brought together Lord Ramachandra and Mother Sita. And subsequently, the Brahmana became so jubilant that he started dancing in ecstasy, and he subsequently, in the jubilation of the coming together of Lord Ramachandra and Sita Devi, the Brahmana cooked a wonderful feast for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu appreciated that feeling, that mood of the devotion of the Brahmana towards Lord Ramachandra. So we see for each and every pure devotee of the Lord, he is completely devoted to his own worshipable form of the Lord, one of the eternal forms of the Lord, and there is nothing lacking. But the universal form is not like that. Universal form is not exactly meant for the devotees, but great devotees like Arjuna still aspired to view it just for giving the proper direction and the discretion to the common man, to protect the common man from unscrupulous persons who may be getting distracted by unscrupulous people who may be claiming to be the Supreme Lord, and to protect the innocent from such unscrupulous persons, so that they should know that if somebody is claiming himself or herself to be the Supreme Lord, then they must fulfill this criteria of being able to show the universal form. And later on, Srila Prabhupada explains in today's verse how, although Lord Krishna creates this material manifestation and manifests the temporary form of Virata Rupa in this cosmic manifestation, he remains completely aloof from it. He is completely detached. In fact, one of the 6 opulences of the Supreme Lord, what are the 6 opulences? Strength, wealth, beauty, fame, knowledge, and renunciation. So this opulence of renunciation is also exhibited by the Supreme Lord in terms of not being even in a slightest bit attached to this cosmic manifestation after creating it. He remains completely aloof from it. That means, it is also explained in the purport, that means while he has created the cosmic manifestation, he has created it in a reluctant, in a mood just to facilitate the desires of the conditioned living entities. And the example is given just like the sun. Although the sun manifests itself in the form of the sun rays and the heat, and the specific word that is used in today's purport is terrible. Where is that word? Yes, it is very nicely translation. From the personality of Godhead, all the universal globes and the universal form with all material elements, qualities and senses are generated. Yet he is aloof from such material manifestations like the sun, which is separate from its rays and heat. Yes, but in the purport, Srila Prabhupada also one place mentions the word terrible. Yes, the sun expands itself by its terrible heat and rays, yet the sun is always aloof from such rays and heat, which also basically goes on to explain that this material cosmic manifestation, it is not a very pleasurable experience. It is just a way to facilitate the desires of the rebellious living entities. So, what is the conclusion? The conclusion of this particular discussion, or so much effort that is taken by the Lord, firstly to create the material cosmic manifestation, then having manifested the universal form, not only that, he himself coming in every Manvantara, we see that that is also explained by Suta Goswami, how Lord Krishna appears in every Manvantara. He takes various Guna avatars, he takes various Leela avatars. All these incarnations and appearances of the Lord are ultimately mean to attract the conditioned living entities back home, back to Godhead, so that we can develop this mood, what is described in Brahma Samhita, where we also develop the feeling of love, feeling of affection, attraction for the Lord. And having developed this feeling of attraction, we also try to get out of this material world into Tripada Vibhuti, into the spiritual manifestation, which is nicely explained in the earlier verses, where it is explained that those people who aspire for deathlessness, who aspire for a life of eternity, they can achieve the spiritual world. On the other hand, people who are after the temporary happiness of this material world, especially the Graha Medis, they need to reside, they need to get stuck in the Ekapada Vibhuti, in the material manifestation. And so many other differences between the Ekapada Vibhuti versus the Tripada Vibhuti, the material manifestation versus the spiritual, eternal spiritual world, are mentioned, that how those living entities which the Lord cherishes spending his time with, they are all based in the spiritual world. The material world also has some of the pure devotees of the Lord, but they are here as an officer on special duty. In material business language, they are called OSDs, official on special duty. That means they are deputed by the Lord to fulfill a specific purpose and then get the conditioned living entities back home, back to Godhead. So with this, we would conclude our short discussion on this specific verse, why the Lord creates this material cosmic manifestation, what all different means the Lord takes, how for a devotee of the Lord, the temporary form that is created by the Lord, the Virata Rupa, is not his worshipable Rupa, but the original Purushottam or Shamasundar form of Lord Krishna is the worshipable form for a devotee. And why is this Virata Rupa created? And ultimately, what is the purpose behind Lord taking so much effort to create the material cosmic manifestation, and also coming in different Manvantara, Guna Avatar, Leela Avatar in this material world, and also sending his own devotees as the officials on special duty, OSD, in this material world. So with this, we will conclude our short discussion. Are there any questions, comments, insights by any devotees? Gaurlila Prabhuji, other devotee, you want to share something, Prabhuji? Hare Krishna. Are there any questions, comments by any devotees? All right. Thank you all very much. If we have some time, can we chant for a minute or two, Prabhuji, Kirtan? Is it okay? Are we already done with the time? Huh? Okay, 5 minutes, Kirtan. Okay, thank you. जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद. हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामो 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामो 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 हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामो 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे रामो राम रामो हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामो रामो हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 रामो हरे हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामो रामो हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामो रामो हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 रामो रामो हरे 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 कृष्णा Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Jayo Prabhupada Jayo Prabhupada Prabhupada Srila Prabhupada हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, गुरु महाराज की जय। हरे कृष्ण।